and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to Chazzy's Game Reviews. That's what I'm calling it for now. I still haven't thought of a nice little catchy ring thingy for it, you know, but maybe if I think of something later I will, but for now I'm gonna keep calling it Chazzy's Game Reviews, okay? And today I'm gonna be talking about the FIFA series. Not one game in particular, but the entire series as a whole, you know? In case you guys missed it, I recently finished playing FIFA 19. I have a whole fancy little playlist on my channel now. It's really cool. I got through the gameplays, you know, really quickly, you know, I did them fast, you know, because I wanted to get into FIFA 20, you know. I've been wanting to play FIFA 19 on this channel since last year when it was actually still kind of relative, but you guys know that sometimes I take sporadic breaks from YouTube, so it kind of got pushed out and I kept just procrastinating. But I didn't want to get into FIFA 20 without doing 19, so I just wanted to kind of leave it immortalized on this channel, okay? So anyway, now, the thing with FIFA is that right off the bat, you guys might already know that I prefer FIFA over PES. I think it's pretty obvious at this point, you know, and there are many reasons why I have this opinion, you know. A long time ago, I actually used to be a pretty big fan of PES back when I still played it on the PlayStation 2, and FIFA kind of sucked, you know, on that platform. But as we got into the next generation, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, PES started slowly becoming more obsolete, and FIFA started getting much better. The improvements were astounding, you know. Everything was amazing and it just felt so realistic to me, you know. And today it's gotten to the point where PES, like, I don't even know why or how PES even still exists, you know. It just sucks. It's such a horrible game. But anyway, FIFA specifically obviously is a much more realistic game, you know. It is an authentic simulator of soccer or football, depending on where you live in the world, and it makes everything feel more immersive, you know. Like, the experience feels real, you know, right down to the goal celebrations, the atmosphere in the stadiums, you know. And every single FIFA game, there are some that barely make differences, but if you really pay attention, you're gonna pick up on subtle differences in every single game, you know. For example, new celebrations, you know. Very recently, they added the addition, I think it was in FIFA 19 probably, where you can celebrate with the supporters in the stands, right? You score a goal and you can go and hug the supporters right there in the stadium, you know. That's really cool. You can also go and celebrate in the camera, do something crazy, you know. You can go hug the players on the bench or even your own trainer, you know. Those small details are really cool to me, you know. It makes everything feel even more immersive and realistic, you know. And of course, all of the different variety of different ways that you can score goals, you know. You can do a chip shot, finesse shot, you can do a driven shot, a low shot, different kinds of things, you know. And I don't think that PES has this variety today, you know. And speaking of variety, FIFA is the complete package. You can play with teams from all over the world, you know. There are probably over 700 licensed clubs, you know, across many different leagues. And every single FIFA game, they implement new leagues, you know, and everything seems, in my opinion, the Premier League is the best because I love English football. I love the Premier League, so it's really cool to have the Premier League getting more and more updated as the games go on, you know. And PES really lacks in this department, because how can you call yourself a soccer or football game and not have English teams, you know? It doesn't make any sense. How can you not have the Premier League? So I think that PES really lacks in this department, the lack of variety, you know. And FIFA has always evolved, you know. They've always had a lot of really hyper realistic graphics. People say that PES looks better. It doesn't, you know. Stop being a fanboy, okay? Stop being a lousy fanboy. FIFA has better graphics, okay? It's not an opinion, it's just a fact. Just oh, it looks like the sun is starting to come out. But anyway, so the thing with FIFA is that as the years go by, it starts to become a much more authentic sports simulator, you know. But it simulates things in a way that makes it feel so much, you know, it just makes it, I think I probably, like the third or fourth time I've said this word, realistic, you know. There's a friend of mine who prefers PES because he thinks it's easier, you know, and FIFA is too realistic for him, and so that makes it too hard. That doesn't make sense because he thinks that games aren't supposed to be realistic. I honestly think that makes zero sense, you know. And FIFA, of course, having its vast variety and its competitions now, you know. You can play the UEFA Champions League, you can play the Europa League, you can play now you can play the Major League Soccer, the South American Cup, Sul-Americana, the Recope. You can play a lot of different things, Libertadores, you know. And with FIFA 20, which you guys are going to see later down the road, I'm going to do gameplays of FIFA 22, of course. They actually went back to street football now, you know, kind of like the FIFA Street series. So it's called Volta Football. There's a whole campaign now which you can play, you know, and it's different game modes for you to try out as well, you know. To me, that's awesome. It's amazing. Like, it doesn't make sense how somebody could still consider PES the superior game, you know. It's really close-minded, if you ask me. What else? I'm gonna apologize ahead of time if you guys notice that the lighting is shifting a bit. It's because the sun started to come out behind some clouds and I try to do what I can here. These game review videos are always a little wonky because of the lighting, but anyway, the thing is, guys, when it comes to FIFA, you really have to be open-minded. You have to accept that it is an authentic, fully immersive and realistic sports game. You know, it's a very realistic football. I'm gonna say football instead of soccer from now on because this makes it easier. It's a fully authentic football game. You know, it has everything that you can imagine and more. And from FIFA 17 onwards, they had the Alex Hunter trilogy. You know, from FIFA 17, 18, and 19, each one had like a single-player campaign mode of sorts called the Journey, in which you follow one specific player who grows up to become a famous footballer. You know, and you can go through his life, you know, through his career and choosing which teams he goes to and going through the highs and lows of having a career, problems with people outside of the field, you know, and it's really, really cool. It's like a football RPG, you know, it's really, really awesome. It just makes it so much more immersive, you know. It really racks my brain to keep saying soccer and football depending on, because I know I have American subscribers but also European subscribers, so I don't know. But anyway, I think that FIFA has come a long way, you know, and FIFA 20 is well, I was going to say current, but no, it's just the current one that I have. FIFA 21 released recently, so that's actually the current title right now, and it's really awesome for the simple fact that, you know, I mean, it's just, I haven't even like seen a trailer of it, but I can imagine it because FIFA, it doesn't change too much, you know, like the players change, the transfers, the uniforms, the kits, you know, the graphics sometimes look a little bit different, but in the transition from FIFA 19 to FIFA 20, we had the whole Volta football thing, the street football, and that was really cool, you know. But I'm not sure if FIFA 21 is going to have too many differences, you know? And I actually don't even know what FIFA can have. Like, I have a few nitpicks, very few nitpicks, like, for example, the small details, like when a player gets hurt and he has to be substituted, it doesn't show the animation of him actually being lifted off. Like, no matter how serious the injury is, whenever you sub a player, it actually shows him walking out, you know, like limping outside. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, if he suffered a really bad injury, shouldn't like the team of doctors have come in, you know, and carried him out? Doesn't really make sense, you know, on a stretcher. You know, and PES actually has that. I don't know if they still do, but of course that doesn't win me over at all. But it would be cool if they have that, you know. The celebrations are becoming a lot more dynamic. It would be cool if they added something like the option for you to take off your shirt when you celebrate a goal, knowing that you're going to get yellow carded in, but it's still going to be cool, you know. It's going to be even more realistic. Now, I can imagine that it's going to be tough to show that animation, you know. You know, maybe the Frostbite engine isn't going to really do well, but you can at least show him starting to and then cut to something else and then come back to him shirtless, you know. Just a small detail. I think it's really nice how they implemented the women's football too, you know, really cool. I also did a gameplay of that. I played the Women's World Cup. I thought it was awesome. And it's really nice how much variety they have in these games, you know, and every year the variety gets higher and higher. And even if you don't notice too many changes in FIFA, there's one thing that you can't deny, and it's that they add more stuff every year, you know. Whenever a new game releases, they add stuff. Now, I am against releasing a brand new game every year, you know. To me, it would be much easier if you release just one and like just keep giving updates to it, you know. Sports games have this habit of releasing a new one every year, you know, and there are different ones. There's PES and FIFA, there's NBA 2K and NBA Live, you know, like, why not? Why don't you all just come together to make one game in the same area, you know? It'll be a lot easier for everyone. And like, just release one game and every year just, you know, update it a bit, you know, give players free updates, or even, I don't know, knowing EA, they would probably make them pay for the updates, which is the same as buying a game, you know, but not as expensive. And then like every 5 years or so, that's when you can actually release a whole new game, you know. But yeah, people still continue to buy the games, so I don't actually buy the games individually. I have EA Play, you know, it's a paid service where I can just download and play the games legally for free, so that's what I do. I'm actually waiting for FIFA 21 to come to that, so I can hop on that too. I'm really late on my FIFA gameplays on this channel. I finished 19 and we're coming up on the year 2021 already, so yeah, I'm just a little bit late. one thing that really staggers me and just astounds me down to my soul is the attention to detail in FIFA, you know. You can, there's different levels of pitch. You can mess with the net tension and the shape and the pitch, you know, depending on the wear, it's gonna be really worn out or not at all. Like whenever a player kicks the ball, you can actually see pieces of grass flying, you know. And when players interact with each other, you can actually see that it's realistic, the mechanics, you know, the physics, I would have to say. And so much variety. You can change the time of day, make it rain, you can see them getting wet, you know. You can actually see the players sweating depending on what it is. You can actually see the expressions on their faces depending on what happens, you know. So it's really, really cool. The celebrations at the end whenever you win a tournament and like everyone, you know, the fireworks going off. The attention to detail is amazing, you know. You cannot criticize EA for this, you know. They have attention to detail in this lines of games specifically, you know. And I think that it's very, very... People who prefer PES just really don't know what it's like to play a real authentic soccer or football game, you know. So I actually feel sorry for them, you know. You could just chalk it up to having different opinions, but if you have that opinion, to me, you're just crazy, you know. If you still prefer PES over FIFA today in 2020, you're just out of your mind, to be honest. But yeah, I don't even think there's much more I can say, guys. I think it's really cool, you know. I love scoring goals. And I did a montage, 2 different videos which are already uploaded. You guys can go see them in the playlist, which is my top 10 goals and my top 10 saves. I thought was really cool. I hope you guys like them. Very short, 4 3-minute videos, you know. Very nice to get that too. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me playing FIFA, and if you didn't, well, it's there in case you want to go check it out, you know. Very short review, guys, not too long. It's just I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit of what I thought about this game, you know. And obviously I'm a big fan of FIFA. I don't like PES, so screw that. I guess that's it, really. I hope you guys enjoy watching me play, and, you know, saw me winning all those tournaments. I didn't lose a single game, you know, but FIFA 20 might be a little tougher. I'm gonna do some different things, a little more variety, you know. And well, that's it for now. I'm tired. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. FIFA.